All right, everyone. So the big news, Mauricio Pochettino has agreed to take the U.S. men's national team job. I wanted to post this video a lot sooner, but just needed to do a little bit more research before I did. And today we're going to cover the brief history of U.S. soccer, what the realistic expectations should be, Pochettino as a coach, what everybody's saying, how excited or not so excited Americans are, and just my whole take on the situation. So as we look at the very brief history of U.S. soccer, we did have a time in 1930 where we finished in third place in the World Cup. But since then, we had a huge drought, and it wasn't until the 1990s when we started getting out of the group stage. And to date, our best finish has been the 2002 World Cup, where we beat Mexico in the round of 16, but lost to Germany in the quarterfinals. So that's been our best finish to date. And as we look at the rankings right now, as of July 18th, we're not in the top 10. We're not even in like the top 15. We're like right outside of it. And I believe that is a fair ranking for US soccer. If you're the typical American, you're going to think like, oh, we hired Pochettino. I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter if we even hire Pep Guardiola as our manager. We're not winning the World Cup and we're not making the World Cup final. We're just not doing that. Like, I know my fellow Americans don't want to acknowledge that, but it's going to be a long, long time before we start making a World Cup final, or heck, even getting to the semifinals. In my opinion, like our ceiling right now as a country when it comes to the World Cup is not round of 16, I want to say quarterfinals. If we can make the quarterfinals, this has been a very successful World Cup. If America can make the quarterfinals, anything higher than that, I believe is just a fantasy. I believe that we're gonna make the quarterfinals and that's it. Like that's the most ideal World Cup. That's like our ceiling. Outside of that, we're not doing much. Because if we play against any of these teams in like the top 15, I believe they are more than capable of beating us by 2 goals. I know if you're the typical American, you want to hear the optimism, but I'm giving you the reality. We are not making it past the quarterfinals. And why is that? So, this is a recent Gallup poll article. Well, actually, it was posted this year. And football retains the dominant position, but I want to make it clear by football, we mean American football, as we can see the football stadium right there. So, that's helmets and shoulder pads. And as we're kind of looking down here, we're seeing, okay, soccer is fourth place. So, that's actually impressive because it used to not even be in the top four. So it's really gained. And the other silver lining is that of the four major age groups that they surveyed, the youngest one was the one that found soccer to be the most popular. So if you were to ask, like, amongst the age group, which age group is soccer most popular with? It is the youngest age group. Compare that with baseball, where it's the most popular with 65 plus year olds. So people over the age of 65. That's good news because it means that soccer can very likely be in the top three for American sports. But it's not good enough news, in my opinion. If we want to win World Cups and if we want to make World Cup finals, soccer needs to be in the same position as football. We need to have a generation where every kid growing up wants to be more like a Messi or a Ronaldo or a Kylian Mbappe rather than wanting to be a Tom Brady or a Travis Kelsey or a Steph Curry. And until we have that, we are not winning the World Cup, guys. We're just not. We're not even making the final, in my opinion. Actually, we're not even making the semifinals, in my opinion, because if we come up against a true top 10 team, which we probably will by the quarterfinals, we are losing by at least 2 goals, in my opinion. We're definitely losing. So, a lot of Americans, we like to believe that, like, we'll just buy up all the Premier League teams and we'll throw money at soccer and perhaps that will help us win the World Cup. It won't because it is a culture, and we need a culture of soccer in America, a culture that's like as popular as football, American football. We need that kind of culture before we ever win a World Cup. And I acknowledge this as an American. I acknowledge that if we are to play a top 10 team, we're not going to win. Like that team would have to practically not show up. As a matter of fact, even their B squads could probably beat our A squads. So until we have that appreciation and love for soccer like we do for American football and basketball, America is not winning the World Cup. I say in the next 30 years, we're probably not even making the World Cup final. So that's just my take as an American. Now let's talk about Pochettino as a coach. So I was not as familiar with him as I should have been. I know he coached at PSG and I know he managed some really big egos there. But I wanted to do a little bit more research on him. And you know, I looked at various posts. So this one from Quora says that like practically from what he was given, he made the most of it and he exceeded expectations with what he had to work with. So far, it seems like his highlight of his career has been taking a team like Tottenham to the UEFA Champions League final when they had decades of just not even being a good team. So that's impressive. That's like impressive. And to conclude it, this comment, which received a lot of upvotes and just a lot of good reception overall, everyone's saying he's a great coach, but not, I wanted to look at another comment, by the way. Like, what they ask, why is he so highly regarded when he has not won a trophy? And as you can see, like, as I'm scrolling through this comment right here, this was actually very popular too. The overall argument is that with what he was given at Tottenham, for example, he was able to take those players and those slim budgets compared to some of the bigger clubs and able to make it a winning team with what he was given. So what they're arguing here at like a club level is that given what they have had at the clubs that Pochettino's been in, he's exceeded, even though budgets have been tight. And I just had to look at that 2018 final. I know I saw it, but as you can see, like that Tottenham team, they beat Dortmund, they beat Manchester City, they beat Ajax on their way to the final against Liverpool. And that Liverpool team was insane. So can't really fault Pochettino for that. Long story coach, I mean, long story short, he's an amazing coach from what they're all saying. So I looked at what the crowd is saying, right? Like when the announcement was made, I looked at some of these Reddit posts that had a lot of upvotes. Just kind of what are they saying? And people had low expectations for what the U.S. men's national team would go out and get because our last two managers were not great from what everybody's saying. But overall, they're really managing to pull it off, and people are excited from what it seems like. As we're just looking through all these posts, the energy is unreal. Like people love it. Americans love the fact that Mauricio Pochettino is coaching us. Like we can't even believe it. Like the excitement is off the charts. Like it is off the charts. Like everybody is amped. Like like the energy, you can see it. It's just unreal overall. So people are proud of our federation and what we've been able to like do. Like everyone's saying like out of all the coaches out there, this is the best one we could have had. And it says to me as like a fan of US soccer that look, we're taking this seriously. Like we're not gonna hire any more coaches from the good old boy club. We're gonna hire based on actual talent. This is a culture of nepotism that's gonna go away. And we're gonna hire the coaches that are gonna help us win. And that's great to see. Like as you can see, like everyone, like people are amped up. The energy is unreal behind all this. Like, Pochettino, yes, that had me rolling. But yeah, the energy overall is unreal. And I had to look at like the top 20 coaches. Like this article here, when was it posted? Like 2024 of this year. He's in the top 20. But as I said earlier, right? Even if we were to hire Pep Guardiola or Carlo Ancelotti as our head coach, we're not winning the World Cup or even making the final. So the other take I had on Mauricio Pochettino is that he just got handed a lot of bad situations, like Chelsea, for example. And overall, he made the most of them. As an American, I want to say I'm excited. Like, there's no chance Pochettino's gonna ever run into this video, but if he does, I want to say, man, welcome to America. Like, seriously, I'm excited. I love that we hired this guy. Like, this is a great message being sent by the federation. Like, they're getting rid of this dumb nepotism that was overtaking U.S. soccer and leading us to not even qualify back in 2018. Like, our past coach was not good, and that's the reality. He just wasn't good. He had no business coaching a team like the U.S. And we were getting all these low quality coaches for the sake of nepotism or some good old boy network nonsense rather than getting the ones that know how to do the job. So the fact that the Federation is hiring somebody that's going to get the job done in terms of actually having us perform to the level we should be, which, in my opinion, make it to the quarterfinals, and that's your ceiling. Like, I feel like if we can make it out of the group stage and have a decent win in the round of 16 and make it to the quarterfinals, that's going to get the generation amped up. In terms of what this actually means for US soccer, we get a name like that in here, like, that's exciting. It tells me that our federation, they care. Like, they really do care. Like, they're not going to hire all these incompetent buffoons out of the sake of nepotism. They're going to go abroad and hire people that know what they're doing. And that's good news for US soccer. I'm really proud of the federation. I am. And I'm excited to have Pochettino on board. Like, I don't know what city this man's going to live in the US, but I just hope we treat him with the utmost hospitality and respect and make him feel welcome. Like, you know, we might not be a Spain in terms of soccer. We might not be an Argentina in terms of soccer, but I really do hope that America makes this man feel welcome and we give him every opportunity he needs to really succeed, because this can have monumental impact overall for the United States soccer future. Because here's what I mean by that. Like, let's say we make it to the World Cup round of 16, this upcoming World Cup. We play a relatively talented team. Like, I don't know, let's look at, maybe we play a Croatia or a Switzerland or someone like that in the round of 16. And let's say we have a hard fought win against that kind of team and we make it to the quarterfinals. We're not going to win the quarterfinals, in my opinion. We're not going to get past that stage. But let's say we put up a fight. Like, let's say we more than give a top 10 team a good game and it comes to extra time and we're really putting up that fight. That's going to, that's really, really, really going to, like, energize the future for American soccer. Like, you're going to have kids who are going to watch that game and they're going to say, like, you know, we put up a fight. I want to be out there. I want to be on that team. I'm going to prioritize playing soccer over playing basketball and football, American football, that is. And that means some of our best are really caring about soccer, and that culture is just going to be uplifted. In my opinion, it's going to be a long, long while before America ever, like, sniffs like the World Cup final. I don't even talk about winning it. I mean, actually making it. But I feel like a good tall tale sign is going to be when we can actually, like, go and we can actually, like, make soccer that popular sport, when our youth are constantly listing it as above basketball and football. I don't think that day is ever going to come, but if it does, that's when I know we're going to win a World Cup. So, amazing hire. I love that the Federation did this. And I think that is going to be, there's going to be great things to come for US soccer. I love that the Federation did this. I love that we got rid of the good old boy network nonsense we had going on with management in on the US men's national team. I love that we got rid of that. I love that we're getting a quality manager because we care. I love that. So I think great things are going to come for US soccer. I'm excited to have Pochettino on board. And I hope he enjoys the US. I hope he enjoys better food than the UK and better weather. And yeah, that's it for now.